50 marks, 1 hour. Those were the instructions. And we go directly to question number 1. Okay. Question number 1 says, the box and whiskers plot below represent the age of people who viewed 3 different films. Study the information below and answer the questions that follow. All right. We have film A. We have film A here. Then we have B and we have C. Okay, what do they want us to answer now? Write down the median age of a viewer who viewed film A. The median age of a viewer. The median age. Now, when we look at the median age, first and foremost, the median age from the box and whiskers is supposed to be Q2 of film A. Remember Q2 is that middle line. So let's go and we see A. A, it's not exactly at 40. So it's before 40. And it could not be 35. So it's in between, it's close to 40. So probably it's 38. Someone could have said 39. Okay, determine the age of the youngest person who viewed film B. Now, youngest, this has to be the minimum value. So we shall come to B and the minimum value is around here, which could be 12 or 11. 12 or 11 years of age. Minimum of A. So we continue and we shall look at which film was viewed by a 65-year-old. Which film? So who is, because 65 is around this gap here. Which film has an indicator here? It's film A. So here the answer was supposed to be film A. Continuing again about the box and whiskers, we look at what we call the IQR, the interquartile range. They've already given us a formula, so all we need to do is to substitute in the interquartile range of what? Of C. So we look for Q3 of C, Q3 of film C, it's here. Then we have to look also for Q1 and Q3. So it's in between 30 and 40. This could be 35 or 36. Minus, let's look at this. Here, this could be 21 or 22. Let me take 22. So, and the answer becomes 13. Someone who took 36 is fine. Someone who took 21, it's fine. But you have to see that the answer or the values are close to what you're estimating. This box and whiskers never had exact numbers. All right, we continue and we see. This brings us to question number 2. Question number 2 talks of income and expenditure. Income and expenses. All right. Question number 2. Jamie rents a hall from a private company at a fixed cost of 30,600 per function. She then hires out the hall at charges of 50 Rand per person, per ticket. All right. Then now, they're asking us, calculate the value of A. We've seen value of A as the number of what? Tickets. Now ask yourself, for 10 they got 500. That means they took 10 times 500. So for the value of A, we shall say 2,500 divided by 50. And the answer becomes 50. The answer became 50 50 tickets. The answer becomes 50 tickets. All right. We look at the other question. Possible questions. Possible answers. Someone might ask us, why are we dividing? We are dividing because it comes from this formula here, which says, because I'm going to use a formula here that says 50 times the number of tickets gives me 2,500. Then I'm looking for the value of A. I divide through by 50, and divide through by 50. This will go with that. So the value of A will equal 50, because when I put this in my calculator, it gives me 50. But remember, we are looking for tickets. So there were 50 tickets. All right. We continue with the question. Here we have a graph, and they're asking us, use the graph to determine the difference. Take note of that. Difference. Determine the difference. This is the moment you hear this, you just note you're going to subtract. Okay, determine the difference between the income and the cost for 200 people. What you're going to come here and do, you come up to here. These are 200 people. What is the cost for 200? Remember, it's a fixed cost. So here is what? 3,600. Okay, so the cost is 3,600. What about the income? The income, it's this line that passes through, but when does it touch 200? It touches it at this point. So you read off this. This is the income. So you come here, put your 10,000. Because we're looking for difference, we subtract. And the answer became 6,400. The answer is 6,000. The difference between income and the cost for 200 people, 200 tickets. So we said 10,000 minus 3,600. And this has brought us to 4,000. Sorry, to 6,400. 6,400. Okay. We look at the other question that says, explain the meaning of break-even point in this context. Now, this context we are looking at, we have two things. One, we are renting a hall, and we are selling what? Tickets. You can say is way for the same number of tickets sold equal to the cost of renting the hall. Yes, and we are saying it's way for the same number of tickets sold, or income received for the same number of tickets sold equals to the cost of renting the hall. Someone else would say it's where income equals to costs. Others would say revenue equals to expense. All right. That marks the end of question number 2. We go to question number 3. Question number 3, it looks at what we call taxation. Okay, let's continue and see. Amelie is working for one of South Africa's state departments. She earns a basic salary of, take note of that, highlight that. She earns a basic salary of 25,000. They never told us it's per month, okay? Oh, yeah, basic monthly salary of 25,000. So it's monthly. And then she receives a travel allowance of how much? Of 12,000 when per month. 85% of the kilometers she traveled were for work purposes. She also receives another French benefits. French benefits. These are added benefits from the department with a combined value of 2,850. Okay, we put that aside. We start asking ourselves, what should we do? Calculate the amount of travel allowance which will be included in her monthly gross income. We come back to the note. It says a travel allowance is an example of a French benefit. In this case, if an employee uses his or her car for work purposes and more than 80% of the distance traveled per month is work-related, then 20% of the amount will be included in the gross. Take note of that. It will be included in the gross salary. So simply meaning, if you're calculating the gross, we shall also add these allowances. Anyway, in your head, you can ask, let me see, the amount of travel that will be. So it's this one here. 20, it's 20% times, because it's saying 20% of the amount will be included. Of which amount? Of the travel allowance. So we are looking for 20% of 12,000. We are here because this is the travel allowance. So this became 2,400. Put it aside. Okay. 8 marks. Where are the 8 marks coming from? They want us to get the gross, calculate her gross annual income. Annual, we mean by, or it's meant by, throughout the year. What you're going to do first and foremost, get her basic salary. Multiply it by 12. Plus, get the allowance, because that's also it contributes to the income got. Multiply it by 12. Get the fringe benefits. Fringe benefits. You understand? Get them also. Multiply by 12. All right? There's nothing wrong if you can do this. You first get all of them. Okay, all of them are monthly. Get all of them. Sorry, remember for the growth, this one here, it's not 12,000. We shall take, this one, it's not 12,000. It's going to be this one that we've got that will be included in the gross. So there's nothing wrong if you do this. Afterwards, after adding, you multiply by 12. You also get the same marks. So here, when we do this, we end up having 363,000. 363,000. The moment you multiply by 12, you have the right values. You write the right values. You say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. the addition part of it. And did you correct the... We come here, now they're asking us, calculate the amount Amelie contributes to GEPF, which is the pension fund, the government employee pension fund, is at 7.5% of her basic income. Remember, her basic income was 25,000. So we are looking for 0.075. Someone might ask us, where have we got this number? It's the 7 over 100, 7.5, this one here. The percentage means put it over 100. So the answer here became 1,875. Okay, hence calculate Amelie's annual taxable income. Remember, taxable income, when we are to look for taxable income, what do? We take the gross minus pension. Take the gross minus pension. So here in this case, we shall say our gross, we already got it as 363,000 minus the pension, which is 1,875. But this also has to be annual. So what answer do you end up having as what? What answer do you end up having as a taxable income? So when you subtract today, I believe you remain with 340,500. 340,500. Okay. We go ahead and look at question number 4. Question number 4. Question number 4 says, or it goes, Gary has an old electricity meter and is billed conventionally for the electricity that he uses every month. In February 2025, last month, he received a bill of 288 rands 23 cents. That included VAT, which is 15%. Use the ESCOM ITB structure below to calculate how many kilowatts hours of electricity he was billed for. In other words, we are calculating for the number of units. How many units did he pay for? So the block is here and we are going to start calculating. But before we calculate, we have to, because we are given money. Take note of this also. We are given money, but the table says these costs, these ones here that we see here, they exclude VAT. Yet for him, his money includes VAT. What do you do first? You have to also exclude VAT from this one. That was the first step, because the values you're going to use on this table, they don't have VAT. All right, let's try to exclude VAT and we see. When we're excluding VAT, we shall say 283 rands 23 divided by 1,15. And this has brought us to an answer that would look like this: 250 rands 63 cents. These are rands. Put them aside. So in other words, from the table, when they calculated using the table, they got this much. So we need to ask ourselves, how many units were they? So we need to break down the table. So in the block 1, if you use, because now block 1 from 0 to 3, he used 50 units. Ask him for 50 units, how much did it cost him? So we shall say the 50 units times this money here. But this money, let's put it into rands. So it will be 50 times 72, divided by 100. When you look at this, when he uses 50 rand, or when he uses 50 units only, he will end up paying 36 rands. He will end up paying 36 rands 27 cents. But when we look at our calculation, he didn't use 50 because he has used more than that. So we shall come from this and we shall subtract. So we come and we find what's remaining. Why am I subtracting? Because I'm catering now for 50. The first 50, then we shall come and say, so he remains with this much. Okay, then we ask ourselves, okay, where will this belong? Again, we ask ourselves, in the block now, because block number 1 now is gone. We are done with it. So now we are looking at block number 2. Block number 2 will need how many kilowatts? Block number 2 will need 300 watts. Okay, if it needs 300 watts, how much would someone have paid for 300? We test it and we find out 300 times 91.7 divided by 100. Why do we divide by 100? We want the answer to be in rands because we are dealing with rands. So 300 times 91.7 divided by 100, it gives us 275 rands 10 cents. Now this rings a bell. Why? This number is way bigger than what we have. First, we have 214 rands 36 cents. That means since he didn't exceed this, that means the units end in this block. So we shall ask ourselves, now, how many units will produce the 214 rands 36 cents? So we need to come here and we shall divide by this money here in rand form. So what do we say rand form? Because we are dealing with the rands. So in rand form, it will be, no comma, what are you doing? It will be, don't round off, leave it the way it is. So in rand form, it's this much. So you come, divide. It's not a must that you should put the R, but I'm showing you that we're dividing rands and rands. So we have 214 rands 36 cents divided by 91, so 917 cents. So the answer becomes 233. These are units. These are what? These are units. So what are we going to do? These are units, but they have come from block number 2. Remember, we dealt with block number 1. And how many do we get for block number 1? We got 50 what? 50 units. This is block number 1. So add them up. What answer do you end up having? It's called working backwards. I believe you have 283.76 what? Units, which is approximately 284 kilowatts per hour. We work backwards. We are working backwards. First and foremost, next time if you find such a question, you have to reduce, you have to remove You have to exclude VAT. Why? The table, the values you're going to deal with, they don't have VAT. They exclude VAT. You understand? All right. Let's look at question number 5. That marks the end of question number 2. Question number 5. We are looking at tourism creates many employment opportunities in the UK, which is the United Kingdom. The table below shows information regarding the number of employment opportunities for different tourist regions. Okay, that's a table. And the first question they want us to say, they say, arrange the given values in descending order. Descending, down. So how do you get down? From big to small. You're from up, you're coming down. All right? Okay, so we come down and we are saying, yes, you start arranging using this. I would like us to see all the numbers. So the biggest number is this one here, takes position number 1, followed by this one here, position number 2, followed by 179, yes, 170, yes, 100. This is position number 3. Sorry, this is a position number 4. It's this one, not 3. This is position number 4. Then this one is position number 5. Then we go ahead and we see 172, 170, 119, 120. 120 takes position number 6. Position number 7 is taken by 119. Position number 8 is taken by 107. Position number 9 is taken by 76,496. So the reason why I do like this is because I don't want to, when I'm arranging them, I don't want to erase and make my paper dirty. So I know now, number 1, I will write that. By the way, it's not a must that you should write it in the form the way it was given. It can be vertical, it can be horizontal. Usually, it's better to be horizontal to spare the paper, but it's fine. If you want to use it that way, you can use it that way. So we have 260 and 3. Then 3 is 17. Then number 4, it's 172. Remember, we are arranging from big to small. Number 5, it's 107, 113. Then number 6 is 120, 343. Number 7 is 119, 639. Number 8 is 107, 230. And number 9 says 76,960. That was the order, descending, biggest to smallest. We continue and we look at the next question, which tells us the mean direct employment in UK, is 162,666,545. The Northeast employs 30,440 fewer people than Wales. Calculate the direct employment for Northeast. Now, this is what I always say. What are we What have they given us? They have given us the mean. So we are determining the missing value when we are given the mean. What are we going to do? First and foremost, you know very well it will be the mean that you have times the number of items equal to the normal sum, because you're going to add all the numbers. Add all the values plus the ones that we don't know, the unknown. So this is where we are. So the mean is 162,666, 5455 times. How many numbers are we looking at? So we count and finally we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This was I'm counting again because we shall see what to do. Because here, this one is missing. Let's call it H. H is missing. But they have told us northeast employees. Northeast employees. Let's say the northeast employs 30,440 fewer people than Wales. You understand? In other words, or fewer meaning smaller. So it reduces by that much. Okay, that means Wales here is that much. You see, than Wales. It reduces. Sorry, let's see. But also Wales is not known than Wales. Let me leave the W here. Okay, when you add these normal, add the normal numbers. Add these normal numbers. Leave alone the algebra. Leave the letters alone. Leave the missing numbers. Add the normal numbers. When you add the normal numbers, we said that the numbers that you're adding that are supposed to be normal, they're supposed to be 11. So here we shall multiply by 11 equals. When we add all the normal numbers. Add the normal numbers. Now, when you add all the normal numbers, you end up having 164. 164, 34, 84 plus the unknown. Remember, we have one unknown which says Wales, which is, we said, we say they told us the northeast employees. The northeast employees 30,000, 40 people less. Simply meaning our W, which is Wales would equal to the H plus the H. I'm just saying this stands for Wales. H, I'm just looking at the northeast that's missing. You understand? So if Wales equals to this much, the northeast will equals, let's say it also equals to H. So our unknown known will be H plus 30,040 plus another H. Only this combination here is representing Wales. Then this one's representing North. Okay, so we continue. And we shall ask ourselves, okay, we've done that. So These are normal numbers, they will add up. This will add with that. All right. So one side, and when you multiply this side, you end up having 178,332,001. Please leave it the way it is until the final. Then this other side, when you add it, what do you get? You get 1. Which will equal to, sorry, plus how many h's do we have? We have 2 h's. This number here, I've added this with this one here to get this. So when this one joins this one, becomes one number. So remaining how many? We have 1 h, another h, so we have 2 h. So now, there's an equal sign here. These are 2 unknowns and there's a normal number. So we collect what we call like terms. When it jumps over, it become a minus. So when you subtract there, okay, let me show you, it becomes this much. Minus 167,3924 115,408 equals to 2h, but we are only looking for h. H is representing the northeast. So divide through by 2, divide through by 2. So our h became 5,000. 5,000. So that means if h is this much, what will be the value of wells? Because they're saying fewer than wells. So calculate the okay, it's fine. That's what they did. So if you're to